Hey grade 7s, how are you doing? Today what we're going to do is we're going to keep working on adding integers, and I'm going to give you 5 different strategies today. So we're going to see, hopefully by the end of this you'll have a pretty good feel for different ways you can go about adding and adding integers. So the first one is we want to add a negative number. Okay, so like our example would be like 5 plus a negative 3. And what the first strategy is if you remember this, you can actually change adding a negative into subtracting a positive, because adding a negative is the same as subtracting a positive. So in this case, we got 5 plus a negative 3. And I should probably put brackets around this negative 3, so we're adding a negative number. It is the same as subtracting a positive number. So I can change the addition to subtraction, but if I do that, the negative 3 becomes a positive number. And most of us would say, oh, 5 minus 3, I can handle that. 5 minus 3 is 2. So let's just try another quick one. So 7 plus a negative 5. So I'm adding a negative number. So what I can do is I can rewrite that as 7 minus a positive 5, and that's just equal to 2. So adding a negative is the same as subtracting a positive. Let's go to the second strategy. This is the commutative property. So this commutative property means that you can flip the order. So in addition, A plus B is the same as B plus A. So for example, if you have 2 plus 3, you can actually write that as 3 plus 2. In both cases, you get 5. Now here's a quick rule. This works for adding, this works for multiplying, but it does not work for subtraction, and it does not work for division. So please remember that. But whenever we're adding, and so in this case adding integers, if we have 2 plus 3, we can write it as 3 plus 2. Well, why might you want to use that? Well, let's say, for example, I have negative 5 plus 7. So I've got negative 5 plus 7. So I'm adding. So what I can do here is I can actually flip the order. So I can write this as, because my negative is first, you might say, oh, I'd rather have that negative as the second number. So because it's adding, I can write 7 plus negative 5. Hey, now what I've got is I'm adding a negative. I can change this to 7 minus a positive 5, and I get 2. So in this case, I used strategy number 2 here to flip the order, to put the negative second, and I use strategy number 1 here because I can think of adding a negative as subtracting a positive. So you can see I can start to blend some of these strategies together, and you can see all I did was took adding a negative and a positive, and I flipped the order, and I just turned it into a subtraction. Let's try strategy number 3. Let's say, for example, I've got negative 36 plus positive 31. So negative 36 plus positive 31. This is what I do. When you have opposite signs, what's going to happen is your zero principle is actually going to take place. So remember your zero principle, like if you have negative 1 and positive 1, those add up to 0. So in this case, you're going to see that negative 36 can be thought of as negative 31 and a negative 5. And positive 31 over here is going to get zeroed out by that negative 31. So that's the stuff we did last class. And what are you left with? Negative 5. But I'm going to show you kind of a shortcut. When you have two opposite signs, what you do is subtract the bigger digit from the smaller digit. So for example, my two digits are 36 and 31. So this only works if you have opposite signs. So 36, and all I'm going to do is subtract 31 because they have opposite signs. And what you end up getting is 36 minus 31 is 5. So my answer is going to have a digit of 5. But I have to think about what sign is it going to be? Is it going to be positive or negative? Well, the answer to that is the largest digit, so 36 is larger than 31, its sign wins. So 36 is bigger than 31, so 36 was negative, so my answer is going to be negative. Let's try it again with another question. Let's say, for example, I had negative 27 plus positive 17. So first thing I would do is, they have opposite signs. We do a subtraction. Take the bigger one, which is 27, subtract the smaller one, which is 17, leaves me with 10. So I've got 10. Now which one wins? Well, in this case, the negative 27 has a bigger digit than the positive 17, so the negative wins out. So my answer is negative 10. Okay. Let's try fourth strategy. So, fourth strategy here. Same signs, add the digits together, keep the sign. So if both are the same sign, well, we're used to this. 4 plus 11. We both know we would add the 4 and the 11, which gives me 15. 4 was positive, 11 was positive, so the answer is positive. And we wouldn't even write the positive in. We all know it's positive. Now, let's say, for example, we have negative 4 plus negative 11. Well, add the digits together. So 4 plus 11, again, is 15. And it says if they both have the same signs, keep the sign. So they're both negative. The answer is negative. So the answer is negative 15. Last strategy, using a number line. I like the number line one. It kind of gives you a nice picture of what's going on. So let's say, for example, I'm going to just use small numbers just to make life a little simpler. So let's say, for example, we have 5 plus negative 3. What do you do? Well, let's get out a number line here. So here's 0. I guess I should go both ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then over on this side we got negative 1, negative 2, so on. So these just continue on, and you can go up as far as you need for the question. What you always do is you always start at 0, and you take the first number. If it's positive, you move to the right. If it's negative, you move to the left. So always start at 0. In this case, we're going to go up 5 spots. So you're going to see we're going to move to the right 5 spots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we go. Positive 5 moved us 5 spots that way. We're right here now. Now negative 3 moves us 3 to the left. So I went 5 to the right. Now I go 3 to the left. So this was negative 3. This was positive 5. And you can see, where's my answer now? My answer is 2, and it is on the positive side. So it's positive 2. So a number line can be really helpful. Let's say, for example, you have like negative 2 plus negative 3. Okay. So I'm going to just take a moment. I'm going to build my number line. Here's my 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go this way. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Okay, so the first thing I do is start at 0. I'm moving 2 to the left because it's negative 2. Then what I'm doing is I'm moving 3 more to the left. 1, 2, 3. Ends here. What's my answer? Negative 5. So you can see that's how we use a number line. So I've thrown a lot of strategies at you, and in some cases you'll use different strategies at different times, but I'm hoping that as you do some practice, these will all come together. Have a good one, grade 7s.